Hi everyone, today I wanted to show you how to give your Monster High doll inset eyes. So first of all, remove the factory paint and then just use a pencil to mark the area that you want to cut out. Luckily on the sculpt of this GG Grant doll, it's got quite a nice pronounced eyelid sculpt, so it's quite easy to see where you need to cut. And if you look just very slowly and carefully, I'm just putting the blade in and then just gently pulling it across the vinyl till it reaches the other side of the eye to cut that section out. For this you're going to need a very sharp craft knife. If you use one that's a bit blunt, you'll end up with really jagged edges and it'll make a mess. It has to be a really sharp one, so this is a brand new one that I bought just for this, and I only use this blade for opening the eyes. And what I'm doing is just creating the shape that I want for the eyes. And it is a bit fiddly, but just take a bit of vinyl at a time and you'll get the shape that you want. And then what I'm doing here as well is I'm removing some of the vinyl from the inside, otherwise you end up with like it's really thick vinyl and it looks a bit too thick and makes the eyes look too sunken in. So what you have to do is go around the inside of the eye, taking some of that volume off so that the eye sits further forward in the head, so it actually looks like it's just eyelids covering the eye. So as you can see, I'm just very gently removing the piece that I want to remove, and then using the blade, as you can see there, going around the inside, removing some of that bulk because the vinyl's quite thick there, and taking that off as well. And then it's just a case of tweaking it to get the eyes both the same shape and also to get them the size you want. For this one I wanted to give a slightly bigger eye openings than I did on the other dolls, but I still did my best to avoid catching that top eyelid on the moulding because I wanted to use that when I did the face up, which I haven't done yet, but I will show you when it's done. So as you can see, I'm just trimming off little bits, any bits that look like they might be sticking up, smoothing any edges out by just taking tiny little slithers of vinyl out, and also going around the inside to reduce some of the bulk. And then what you want to do is keep looking at the doll ever so often from the front, just to check that the eyes are even and to get rid of any unevenness. If you're just concentrating on one eye at a time and then you don't stop to check and look at the doll from the front, you can end up with some really odd uneven eyes. And as I said, you need a really sharp craft knife for this, otherwise you'll end up with really jagged edges. Then if you look on the doll, there's actually like a little moulded top where originally when they made it in the factory in the mould, and I always use that to tell me where I've got to cut the top of the head off. And you need to take the top of the head off so you can actually get the eyeballs in, otherwise you'll never do it because you're not going to be able to get them through the neck and put them into place that way. You have to cut the back of the head open. And this was the stickiest, most gungiest doll I've ever dealt with. The glue inside the doll hadn't set, so she got really sticky hair, which is why I'd cut it off, because no matter how many times I boil washed it, it still went sticky again. Turns out she'd got glue seepage, and the inside of her head was so sticky. This is me testing out some of the eyeballs that I made in a previous video, just seeing which ones I want to use. I really wanted to use the silver ones on her, but they didn't quite look right, so I tried them a couple of times, but I was like, nah, it doesn't quite look how I want, so I went with the blue ones in the end. And then that's just me getting a pair, because I'd managed to jumble my eyes up so some of the pairs were mixed up. So I'm just getting two eyes that look pretty close to being a pair, because there were slight variations in each one because obviously they're handmade. And then I'm just deciding on position and where I want the eyes looking. I'll put a link in the description box to the tutorial to make the eyeballs in case anyone's wondering as well. So that's me just deciding on positioning, and as you can see, it is a bit fiddly. I could have cut a bit more of the top of the head off, but I like to only remove that small circle because I find it's easy to glue it back on afterwards. Because if you remove a bigger section of the head, it could be more fiddly to stick it back on. So then what you want to do is take some eye putty or some blue tack, and you roll it into a little donut and put that on top of the eye, and then press the eye into place in the head. And then all it's a case of doing is just fiddling a little bit, because you will have slightly wonky eyes at first when you first place them, so you have to do a bit of adjusting. And then add some extra blue tack or eye putty to the top and bottom of where you put the eyes. So basically the front of the face is full of blue tack or eye putty, and that holds the eyes in place. I did with another doll use hot glue to position the eyes and keep them in, because there was one as I was doing the face up, I popped the eyes out, so it's better to do the face up first and then stick the eyes in. But for this tutorial I've just stuck them in with blue tack just so I can show you. And that's it. That's how to add inset eyes to your Monster High doll. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.